Hi everyone, I am Travelbug Sue, and if you already watch my YouTube channel, you will know that I concentrate on collecting points for your Qantas frequent flyer, and this is what I'm here to talk about today. If you've watched my review on how to book a round the world flight, you may have questions, because a lot of people had questions, so I'm just doing this review to clear up a few things. And there was actually a mistake I made, and if you have a YouTube channel yourself, it's pretty hard to edit and get back on. So I just thought I'd do a completely new review. So the first thing is, I should have emphasized that the round the world flight, it's pretty complicated because it is a one world around the world flight, but it's a Qantas one world round the world flight. So what that means is that Qantas is a one world partner. So if you're a Qantas frequent flyer, you are already, and I've said this earlier in the review, you are already a one world member. So if you book through Qantas, which is the only place I book through, because this is what I do, I emphasize Qantas, you will use Qantas points to get your seats. This is what it's all about. It's not booking a round the world flight with One World as the One World company, or with Finnair, or with American Airlines. They're all different airlines. So when you're booking a one world Qantas, or Qantas one world round the world flight, you're only using Qantas points. So you can't book it through Emirates, you can't book it through British Airways, you can't book it through Sri Lankan Airways. You can use those airlines, but you have to book it through Qantas. So using your points, you're getting your reward seats. You can book an around the world flight through Emirates, you can book through British Airways, and you will earn Qantas points because they're part of the alliance. But you can't pay for them, the seats, with the Qantas points. You have to only book through Qantas. So all those people that asked me, I can't find my seat, can I book it through British Airways? Can I book it through JAL? You can, but you will pay for it. Unless you have mileage points with those airlines, with British Airways, which is Avios, I think, and so on. This is about Qantas one world flyers, Qantas frequent flyers. So you are only booking purely through the Qantas site, using your Qantas points. I think I looked at Emirates and Finnair, and their world tickets start around $6,500, which is a good price for a world ticket, but I got mine for $1,800 and points. So there's a big difference, and that's why it's very hard. I told everyone in the beginning it was very hard. But if you're patient and you do it far enough beforehand, you will find your seats. And of course, you've got to be a little bit flexible, because it may not be that day, but it may be the next day, maybe the day after. This is what it's all about. It's all a gamble, and but it can be done. There was one mistake I made, and someone picked it up. They told me that apparently in a one world round the world ticket, you don't have to go in one direction. I'm not sure about that, because I don't go into one world sites to do bookings, and I have looked for it, but I can't really find it. And maybe you don't have to, but in this one with Qantas, booked with Qantas, yes you do. It's one of the rules. Another rule that I got wrong was a stopover in the airport cannot be longer than 12 hours. That's incorrect. It can't be longer than 24 hours. So I apologise to anyone that picked that up. and a stopover. A transit and a stopover, both 24 hours. So we'll just get that clear. My fault, but I always apologise. And I'm not a professional, I'm just a fanatic, like most people on the internet. But I'm honest, and I will always let you know if I've made a mistake. And if someone picks that up, that's fine. I've learned something as well. So your transit and your stopover, 24 hours. The other big question I have been thrown with by many people is, Sue, I can't find my seat. If you're booking for next month, the month after, you're probably not going to find your seat because they're already booked. And as I emphasised in the previous review, there are days, and they're all around 350 days. So you have to count back to that date that you, or forward rather, that you want to go, where you're going to want to leave, and count back the 350 or 331 or 3, and it's on that last review, the numbers for each airline is different, when they put the seats on. That is your best bet to find a reward seat. And if you're a couple, you may not get a seat next to each other. And of course, when you get to the airport, you might be able to fix that up. But you have to be organised and pre-book a long time before. I have always got a world flight every year when I've wanted it. And people ask me, of course, well, how do you must have something. It's because I'm organised and I book very, very early. And I'm flexible. So if I can't go to this city, well, I'll try another city. It's different if you have to go somewhere. But when I travel, it's my annual holiday, and I just try to go places I haven't been before, and I choose the One World network. And that's when I go on the One World site and look for airports where I can fly with One World Airlines, whatever airline it may be. And the big question I have had from many people is, will I get their flight for them if they pay me? The answer is no. And the reason why it's no is because you really have to be flexible. You have to go in day after day after day sometimes. And you choose your aircraft, you choose your times, and I would be so scared that I wouldn't get the flights that people really are happy with, and it would end up in disaster, and I wouldn't even know what to charge for my time, because these take a lot of time, and it's much more exciting when you do it yourself. I have a full-time job, I don't really have time, but that's a compliment, and I appreciate people asking me, but no, it's not going to happen. When hell freezes over, maybe, don't know, can't fly in the frost. But another question I got a bit was people wanted this, wanted that, looking for this. If you are looking for a flight, I'm happy to try and look for it for you if you can't find it. But I won't purchase the ticket on your behalf. Okay. So I hope that's cleared up a few things, and I think the next review I have to do is probably on Expert Flyer. If you don't know what Expert Flyer is, it is a program that helps you find the flights that are available in reward seats, but you can't book through them. You have to just find the seats, and you may have to this is another thing I'll tell people. If you can't get those seats, you may have to pay a bit of money and call Qantas, because not every airline seats are going to appear when you want them on the Qantas site, but they're there. So if you can find them on something like Expert Flyer, that they're available, and then call the Qantas service desk and ask, can you add these flights to my world flight? They will I've never had a problem with Qantas staff. doing what I want them to do. They've been quite good, although I've heard people say otherwise. Maybe it's a tone of your voice. They will definitely help you find a flight that you can't find. So give that a go as well. And one more thing, how could I forget to add? If you're in Sydney, in Australia, I now have a Meetup group. So basically, Meetup group, if you know what Meetup is, it's groups of people that like all different sorts of, whether it's golf or fishing or crocheting or singing or dancing. Of course, mine is flying. But I've put my YouTube channel into a group session. So it's a one-on-one personal, I can see you, you can see me, and we can have a coffee or a drink or a lunch or whatever. Hopefully it will turn into that. So people can speak to me face to face. So I'm getting members by the hour. I'm a bit scared. But we will work something out, and next year I will start the Meetup group. So you can have this YouTube in person. Wow. Is that good? I hope so. And thank you to the people that have replied on the YouTube about the Meetup. It's wonderful. I love it. Once again, I'm Travel Bug Sue, and thanks for watching.